Okay, let's get into some strategies for using AI tools. Um, Really, we could boil this down to one thing, and that is you have to train generative AI models. You can't just ask them a question and expect the right answer because they have access to almost infinite amounts of information. And so when you ask a question or you prompt it with something, it's going to give a response that could include any number of things. So, for example, if you said to ChatGPT, uh, tell me about time, or write a 500-word essay about time, you could get an essay about the history of timepieces. You could get an essay about how to build a clock. You could get a series of times in different parts of the world. So you have to really coax the AI into giving you the answer that you're looking for. You have to point it in the right direction. So that's kind of the overarching goal of these strategies. And so the first one I have is that you need to give the GPT a persona. You need to tell it how to approach the problem. And you'll see this a lot when you go look at examples of, in fact, you're going to see it in the examples I give you, as a social media marketing expert or as a expert on historical British literature. So now you're telling the AI what perspective to take. What lens should I use to answer the question that you're going to give it? Related to this is you want to limit the degrees of freedom in your instructions because again, the AI tool has access to so much information. If you just let it loose, it's going to go and grab all kinds of information. Sometimes that information might not even be correct. It might be false. But hey, it's content that was out there, so it may use it in the response. So limit the degrees of freedom. The best way to do this is to use affirmative commands. So if you think about that for a second, it's a little bit tricky at first. You want to try to not tell the generative AI to not do something. In other words, avoid negative commands. And a way around this is you can use incentives. So, hey, write a 500-word essay about time, cite your sources, only use sources from American historians. You will be fined $1,000 for using sources other than American historians. So, in other words, I didn't say don't use British historians or don't use Italian historians. I'm saying here's what I want you to do, and then I'm imposing a penalty if it doesn't do that. You can also do that with incentives. You can say you'll be tipped $100 every time you cite an American historian. The last strategy is you can use the generative AI to review output from the generative AI. And basically, now you have kind of this iterative approach you can use. You can use its own output, have it analyze its own output to then refine that output, either on its own or by giving it additional instructions. So you're going to see what I mean by some of these strategies. You're going to see these strategies in action in the next section where I cover a couple of examples.